All right. Hey gang, so welcome to another Bald Eagle fishing adventure, and still not fishing, we're still doing upgrades. And that's okay. This is one of those upgrades I'm really excited to do. I'm actually happy with all the upgrades that we get to do, and the service stuff is what's kind of boring, but I will not bore you guys with that. But this upgrade, this is pretty freaking cool. This is IntelliSteer. And I don't know if you can get a shot of that, but this is the name of the company, IntelliSteer. And we're going to do a start to finish on this thing of installation. And what this does is it allows me to steer the boat from anywhere I want. So I'm on the back, putting my lines out, especially if I'm fishing by myself, mainly when I'm fishing by myself. And I will be able to with a remote, be able to actually steer the boat. So I don't know if any of you have ever put lines out for when you're trolling for salmon and you get a little bit of wind current, or you see another boat and you've got to stop what you're doing, run up to the helm and make adjustments. It sucks, especially wind and current. The boat is, the bow is constantly fluctuating back and forth. This is going to be able to make my life a little easier while I'm on the back working the poles. I can actually just, like I said, there's a little, let me grab it here. This little remote will hang around my neck, and there's a arrow one way to go left or right, and same thing here. So, and an on and off. And that's it. So I can have the boat in gear and just, you know, hit either one of these buttons to go whatever direction I need to go. So that is going to be really, really cool. Here is the unit. So basically I've got to pull off the old steering system that I have. So that's what I have here. This is a rotary, and they don't actually give the horsepower rating for these things, because I thought, well, maybe there's a certain amount of horsepower that you can only put this electric kind of steering on. Apparently not. They just don't recommend using the electric part of it when you're past 40 miles an hour, which my boat, 40 miles an hour is about tops, and out on the ocean, that is a real rarity. Usually you're only doing about 25, 30 miles an hour. So, and I'm only going to be probably using this when I'm just at trolling, when I'm setting the poles. And another thing that'd be kind of nice too is if I've got a real wild fish and I want to leave the boat in gear, I can actually fight the fish, and if I need the boat to go left or right, I can just use that remote switch. The other thing is too is, since I have the kicker motor on the back and it's tied in with the main engine, this will steer both of those motors. So that's kind of cool. Anyways, so this is what's the new unit. This is what's going to replace the old one. And again, I'm going to be going through, this is the receiver. So all of this will get wired pretty close to each other. I have an actual place perfect for this to mount to. And then obviously where the old steering was at, this is going to take its place. So anyways, I've already got the steering wheel off of the boat right now, and I'll do a little video of that as I'm getting ready to pull the old rotary steering system out of there. And pretty straightforward stuff. Again, you know, it's not rocket science. This, you know, you just got to make sure everything gets wired up correctly. But again, nice stuff for what they packaged in here. I was looking at all the different wiring stuff. Let's see. Yeah, they sent all the connectors. So that's the heat shrink connectors. Great. You know, you really have to have this for marine. Has the inline fuse. So again, pretty straightforward. Just kind of follow the wiring on this thing, and that's about it. Anyways, we'll kind of go step by step with all of this. The other thing that's kind of nice too is, since they have so many different types of cable systems, they give you different mounting options. So just in case the cable system wouldn't just mount directly to this unit here, I can always use some of their mounting hardware to use with all different kinds of cables. So anyways, we'll just see how things go. But we're getting started on this, and this is the next upgraded project. Stick around, we'll see how it goes. So as you can see, I've got the steering wheel off, and here's the steering wheel, and I'm probably going to reuse this bezel as well, as long as I can. I'm hoping that I'll get to reuse it. I think it would make things a lot easier if that's the case. One of the things that if you decide to do something like this, when you go to pull your steering wheel off, there's they call this this little tiny half moon here is a Woodruff key, and what that does is that I don't want to turn this right now, but there's a little slot. Let's see if we can get down here, and maybe you can see right here. There's a little slot in here, and this Woodruff key sits in here like that. Okay, and I actually had to use a screwdriver to pry this thing out, but normally when you'd go to remove this, I just have the motor completely over all the other way so I can get this unit out, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. But when I pulled this out, I had this sitting right up on top here, so it was real easy. I just took a screwdriver and I put the screwdriver right down inside the groove area, and I just kind of pried it right out. So not a big deal. And that I'll actually show you here on the steering wheel. So if you look here on the steering wheel, see, maybe it's better to do this. There's a little cutout right in here, and that's where that Woodruff key, and that just locks your steering wheel in place, so it can't just turn, even if for some reason if the nut came loose a little bit. So anyways, that's one thing. And then also too, with the steering wheel, is this has a taper. So it starts out a little fatter at this end here and gets a little narrower at this end. And so does this shaft, obviously. So this shaft has a taper to it. So at least for mine, I had to use a steering wheel puller, and you can get that at Harbor Freight or any cheap tool place. I think I ended up getting mine. It was like 15 bucks or something. It had a couple little claws that kind of go on the back side here with a rod going down the center, a big bolt, and you just kind of tighten that up and then tap very lightly with a ball peen hammer, and this steering wheel just popped. So it's just to get it to release off of this shaft. That's it. I mean, pretty basic stuff to get the steering wheel off. And what I'm going to do now is, this kit came with everything, just as if you were putting a brand new steering system on your boat, and you had, say this had no cutout, say this was a brand new boat, and this is, I wanted to go with this steering system. It comes with all of the diagram for cutting the hole, the matching the plate install for the new unit. I mean, it comes with everything. But if I can reuse some of this, I'm going to do so, just because it makes life a little bit simpler. So what I'm looking at to remove my old steering system is there's 3 bolts inside here, and I'm going to undo those. And as you can see, there's a bunch of holes all along around this entire plate, and that is because of different configurations, different steering systems. So I'm hoping that I can just put my new one right up into there and put new bolts right in place. It'll, they'll be offset a little different than where these are at, but that's why these have all these multiple holes. So anyways, we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you informed as we go. One thing I did want to go over with you, when you're going to pull a steering system where you have the cable, you want to have the motor all the way turned one way, where all the cable is pushing this rod. So the way this motor is right now, there's very little cable at the helm. If I have it turned this way, then there's a ton of cable going into the helm, and it's just more of a nightmare to have to contend with that. So it's best to have the motor all the way turned the way where most of the cable is pushing on this rod. That way there you have very little cable at the helm, and that's what we want. It makes life a little easier. So anyways, that's it for now, guys. I'll bring you back as soon as I have more to show. So I'm done with the steering on this thing. We've got the electric steering in place now. And, you know, putting the old steering wheel back on, which I'm fine with. Of course, you know, if you wanted to, you could upgrade to a different steering wheel. But I like the steering wheel. It's a good one. Beautiful, or everything steers just like the way it was before. I think actually a little smoother because you know, just this thing's newer. So, but yeah, took a little bit of work. I'm just dealing with a tight, cramped area, and I'm going to show you here in a minute. But this is all back on, nice and everything's nice and tight, ready to go. I wanted to go inside here for a second and just kind of show you. I got wiring cleanup to do tomorrow, but I just wanted to give kind of an idea. So there's the, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's the new unit right here. So you can see what I'm talking about as far as tight space. And I had to pull a bunch of wires loose and kind of reroute a few things. But tomorrow I want to go in here and really kind of clean this up. I got to heat shrink all of these wires, everything, get them all nice where they need to be. And then this unit is the receiver unit, and that's going to mount right down here, right inside. So everything will be nice and covered when these things are closed up. Very happy with the job. You know, the way it works is pretty cool. I'm going to show you here in a minute. So the directions on this, really straightforward. You know, power, your ground, and then you have 4 wires coming out of the receiver, out of this unit, that tie into this wire loom here, these 4 wires that go into the controller, into the helm controller. So, I mean, not a real big deal at all. These other 4 wires are if you have a, so if you have a system where your GPS and your radar is doing navigation for you with autopilot, then you can use these 4 wires tied into your system, your GPS and your radar for your navigation. But I don't have that on here, so these 4 wires are not needed. And I'm going to do a little, you know, just a little tape on the ends of these things and kind of wire loom them together. And since they're not going to be used, but anyways, really happy with everything. Like I said, pretty straightforward. Got it all put in place today. And I'm going to go on the outside now and show you kind of how this thing works. So here we go. And of course, as always, I'm going to have links to this company and where I purchased it. I saw it on Amazon for, I think it was like $899 or $999, somewhere around $1,000. And there's a few different kinds that, you know, range anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. And then, you know, it just keeps getting more insane from there. I actually found this company, and like I said, I'm going to put the links to it. And it was $749 or $759, somewhere in that neighborhood, and free shipping. So very happy about that. It was like the best price I could find on this Interstellar, or Intersteer. Anyways, so let's go ahead. I have got the remote here around my neck, and I don't know if you guys, hopefully you can see this thing, but so pressing a button, and you can see it working. So when I'm on the back and I'm dropping a line, and I need to have the boat go one way or the other, and it'll stop wherever you want it to, which is kind of nice. And the moment you touch the steering wheel, the clutch disengages. You can even grab the back here, and it automatically disengages. There you go. See? So it's so you know, it's just a safety thing. So if you do have to grab the helm and you have the system engaged, it's an automatic. You know, it automatically frees up for you. Anyways, if you guys always, you know, anytime you have any questions or anything, please send me an email. I'll be more than happy to go over with you what I know and how it was for me. And so far, you know, I can't. This is one of those things I really can't wait to get out on the water and when we get ready to go salmon fishing. And I have one of those Easy Steer brackets that ties the trolling motor to my main engine. And you can see these things right here. Then there's the bar that goes across. And so it's nice with having this remote system, as I can be running this little motor, and my main engine will also steer my trolling motor. So kind of a cool deal. Obviously this will work on twin outboards if you've got, you know, a couple twin 200s or 150s or 300s, whatever it might be. So anyways, hey guys, as always, thanks for watching one of my videos, and this will probably be the last how-to until the beginning of March, when I start fishing again. And this year I'm going to give it a shot out by Angel Island in that area for some halibut, I think early on. And then probably start out in May and June for salmon, hopefully for salmon and cod. So, but this will probably be my last video on the how-tos for this. If you guys have any questions on anything, or you want to see something because I do a lot of my own work on the boat, let me know. I'll put a video together for you. I do all my own service, so shoot me a question, and if it's something I think that everybody should, you know, check out, I'll do a video on it. All right, gang. Till next time, take care. Bye.